friends, welcome to the Longshots Dungeons and Dragons. I am of course your fantastic redhead in a very lecherous bathrobe this evening because it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2023, the last Longshots D&D session of 2023. We're here tonight. Down a few folks. Maisie and Katina cannot join us tonight, unfortunately. And one of our folks, which I won't say who, is somewhere in international waters. So that is 1/4 of the Earth. You can mark off your list of where they could possibly be. But since it is the last session of 2023, I am doing something very special tonight. Decided to get a little champagne. Only the finest here. That's why I've gotten Snoop Dogg's 19 Crimes champagne. Just out of curiosity, see how it goes. So while I pop Snoop Dogg here, the champagne, not in a criminal way, I'm going to throw it over to the man of the year, should be Time Person of the Year, probably a close second to Taylor Swift, Mr. Silent Book.
Yay.
Hello!
Yay.
Even though we're down 2 folks tonight, there is a lot to do here, a lot to see, a lot to experience. A lot of what I do is kind of working with official Wizards of the Coast content and not so much against. I still have my own stories and locations and things I want to do, but this is what made me really love Rime of the Frost Maiden in general. Just the idea of this ancient historical place and all the shit you had to do to get here is pretty cool. So don't feel like you've got to rush through this whole thing. I will go ahead and tell you just up front, like, you guys can already see the map. That golden thing in the center is what Maisie was calling the Mythalar. You may have heard this dropped a couple things. That is essentially an objective, and it's going to be right in your face the whole time. But if you get there, I'm just telling you, there's going to be a essentially bullshit reason why you can't have it. There's going to be a force field protecting it, and you'll figure out how to like shut that down. But I'm just telling you now, don't waste time trying to shut it down on your own. It's not going to work.
Thank you for telling us.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I can just see it now. So, you know.
All right, who has that scroll of disintegrate?
Sorry for yelling. I was moving the cork and it started just moving by itself, so I was a little concerned this was about to be a disaster.
No.
Cheers.
It's delightful. Well done, Snoop Dogg.
Is it actually good?
Let's find out.
No.
Only the finest here at Colt
Only the
HQ.
finest. There is an item in here that the book just decides to drop on people. Now, the last time I ran this, I kept it in. They had a plan of how they were going to use this particular item, but never got to use it. I have kept it here. And you'll know it when you see it, and or if you see it. I won't tell you. It's in the city somewhere. Also, short of like straight up teleporting out of here, there's going to be no good way out. I mean, sure, you could try to cramp on and climb your way back up the slide, which, sure, okay, that could work. But, you know, story's here. Other than that, how are we feeling this week?
So good.
So good?
Great.
So good.
Fantabulous.
I'm ready to roll some dice.
Well, I think there's a little tension. Might be a little tension in the party.
I'm also ready to see that happen.
That I'm excited for, yeah, with the popcorn and stuff. Like, I'll just sit back, sip my tea, and have a great time with that.
Yeah, I'll be observing from a safe distance.
Boy.
I love
Laura
that.
commits another murder.
Yeah.
Another spoilies.
No way.
Also, I have fudge tonight that
Oh my God.
my colleague
Lucky.
made. Well, his wife made. And I'm really
Mm.
excited. I already took a bite at work today because I hadn't had breakfast yet. But
Very-
the fudge game is strong tonight, you guys. The fudge game is strong.
You
Snoop
heard it here,
Dogg.
folks. The fudge game is strong.
They put
Ooh, now I
Snoop
want
Dogg on the
chocolate.
bottom of the cork. Look at that. That's
Of course they
good
did.
marketing.
Fucking leave it to Snoop Dogg to know how to market himself.
I mean,
Well,
all right.
are we starting after a long rest, or are we starting right where we left off?
I'm going to start. You guys have just reached the bottom. The idea is that Velen Harpel is setting up a layman's tiny hut, which you can use to take a long rest. Whether or not you just, montage that or work through those 8 hours with something that you guys have prepared is up to you. I understand that you guys just had a pretty physical altercation there and some other things were dropped. So my suggestion then is the intent is to take a long rest, work out anything else you want to work out in between.
Okay.
So with that being said, I think we're right back up at the top with a what happened last week, Mr. Bretland Loyalfoot.
Well, I know how we ended. Where did we start? Oh, we started post dead
Post
Frost
Coral
Maiden,
fight.
right?
So last
Yeah.
week on the Longshots, Dungeons and Dragons, after having defeated Oral the Frost Maiden, the group carried on, trekking their way up towards the Gray Skull Keep. I don't remember what the title, what it was called.
Grim Skull, but very close.
Grim Skull, Gray Skull, same thing. However, the group noticed some particular looking statues and decided to slide down and investigate. The group, Maisie and Kara, after rolling really, really well, noticed two statues in particular that looked surprisingly like interesting bodies. The group came together, realizing that these were the bodies of Ida and Madama, their dead friends. They discussed and decided to take a hand off of each of them and Aaron took them. And did you decide to put them in a pot or nah?
We did, and then we took them out of the pot, and then Mazarine grabbed them after the snowing.
All right, you're getting ahead of me, bud. So
sorry.
So the group returned on their journey to Grimskull Keep and encountered a giant who Kara spoke to and found out that he was tired. He just wanted to die an honorable death in battle. So she granted him that wish, and the group managed to take him down. That's when an argument originally broke out between Kara and Bretlin, in which Kara said the fateful words, "Nobody wants you." During this argument, the group, Nox and Katina snuck down and found a walrus who was skating around in a junction, sort of. And he explained to them, hey, there's a bunch of rooms. In order to get to the rooms, you have to go through these tests. They dubbed him the name Wally the Walrus. And Kara, Maisie, and Nox went through 2 tests. Nox went through cruelty. Maisie and Kara went through preservation. And Katina, sorry. Katina also went through preservation. Both teams succeeded, and they managed to snag the codicil of white. However, pulling it from the library caused the castle to collapse, and the group was magically teleported to this unknown location. Maisie read a passage from the book and accidentally cracked and a crack formed in the glacier that was beside them. Something happened. She got excited about something that was inside, so she was magically drawn into the crack. Bretlin and Kara had another big fight, and which left the group being kind of like half the group kind of divided on whether or not they wanted to go down into the crack or not. The final decision was to go down into the crack, in which at the bottom of this slide into this large cavern containing a city, an automated voice read out everyone's names in Elvish. And that's where we left off.
All right.
Sorry, that was so long.
Colt, how did you do that?
What do you mean?
Colt was like talking the whole time, and he changed his voice, and then like he started drinking his drink, and he was still talking. That was weird.
Still speaking.
That's so crazy.
I have a pretty good. I do lots of voices. Would you like to hear my Katina impression?
No.
Okay.
Wow. Amazing.
All right. So, to describe sort of the area around you, as Velen is kind of setting up Layman's tiny hut at the bottom of our slide here. Where did I put the map? There's the map. Located here, really. So over to your left, surrounded by what seem to be arcane lights, is what seems to be maybe a residential kind of district. But from your vantage point on your way down, this kind of ominously gated place seems very prison-y, or maybe some type of military structure. You can just barely see a shimmer around this long branched object, which you believe to be a building, or at least part of a building, if not a access support beam to the main tower itself. Curiously, as you look more inward, there is a tall tower. It seems to have some sort of sigil on it and a particular color. Good thing to make note of. Finally.
A particular color? What color?
Yeah, I'll go back around to that. This bit over here seems to be some sort of stadium. It has 3 very large spikes, almost like tridents, that rise up out of the ground, Quidditch stadium style. And then for your tower there, I have 2 tabs for this. It's blue.
Okay.
So Velen, having just set up Layman's tiny hut, kind of glances back around to the group. And it's like, so, does here work?
Yeah,
Aaron's gonna
that
glare
worked.
at you. You know, we were a lot safer outside.
Are you glaring at?
I'm glaring at Vel.
Gotcha.
Who at this point is kind of walking back from some of these stones left in between the residential and the stadium. Just kind of like scratching the back of her head and just going, yeah, essentially sorry.
Yeah, so Aaron will just sigh and help prepare the spell if that's something that can be done.
Sure.
I think Bretland squared up to continue for fisticuffs, but seeing that somewhat interrupted by the slide announcement of names, he'll withdraw and head back towards the lights before finally turning around and kind of just observing everything. Be it that this looks very familiar to his home.
It most certainly
Old.
does. Especially the layouts of things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anything else happening before you guys take your rest in the surrounding area?
I'll once we get inside, yes, but
Okay.
not before.
Then after
Yeah, I
just a
think
bit of preparation.
Carl will do what she can to help with setting up camp.
Not long before a small tent-like dome, a sort of opaque, dull gray, before she kind of tunes it just a little bit to try to match the stonework, the Chardelaine of the entire city. She gets it almost right and turns back through. Yep. In you pop. It's exciting, isn't it?
Sure, exciting. Yes.
What a discovery. I mean, tell me, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, but I'd also like to live to tell about it. So could we
I-
maybe be a little more careful?
She leans
I
in
would've-
with a smile,
looked-
taps on the
Would have
shoulders,
looked
looks
just
at you.
would have looked just as good yesterday or today or tomorrow. Would have looked just as good tomorrow.
Nonsense. Just think, we get to steep in it. The majesty. And she looks over back at Aaron, is like, I also hope I live to tell about it. Oh, the findings. She kind of like hurries in, crosses her legs, turns back through, looking out from inside Layman's now, and just starts sketching.
Aaron will walk over and just put a hand on her shoulder and just say, "Remember, the pursuit of knowledge means very little if it's lost forever."
Ooh, good point.
I've
And
go ahead.
No, please.
Brethren will stand there with his arms crossed, kind of like keeping an eye on Kara, but addressing everyone else. I've seen a place like this before.
She's intrigued immediately. Really?
Yes.
Where?
Well, it's older.
Well, so I mean, this is pretty old.
Yes, but this is very similar to where I come from. In terms
Well,
of layout, structures, even the language that was announced when we arrived here. Older dialect, but very much the native language of my home.
and where is that exactly? She kind of looks around at the rest of you, like you guys have all heard him talk about his homeland, right? Does anyone know?
Only a couple of times. Aaron will smirk.
Well, the general way to say it is far to the east from here, but it's actually a bit further than that. It resides in a realm that I believe you would know as the Feywild.
Her eyes perk up, and she like contorts her torso first, and then her legs follow along with her, Indian style, just a mouth slightly agape. Oh my god! Does that explain the? And she goes, you know what? I'm sorry, rude question. Follow up question. How old are you?
Well, I was born in, I believe, your calendar of 1445. I'm, I think I'm trying, 35 years old.
Does
Impressive.
that math?
She goes, so my particular field of study Nerethil. She kind of gestures around to the city in front of you. And that's Scant's expertise as well.
And what,
Scant,
Scant?
be a dear, and could you recall the earliest mention of the rise of the Empire of Nerethil? For a moment. Reply. Most dated back to minus 3860 DR. We're talking thousands of years. How many generations of kings? Do you have a king?
We have
Oh,
a
no
sol-
empire, so.
we have a sovereign. He's known as the sovereign, and he's been there for several hundred years, as far as I've been told.
Is he
Hell,
the only ruler?
Well, he's the only ruler of was the only ruler of the Empire. He passed several years ago, and there was issues after that happened. There are other entities out there operating, but Ebel Empire is the greatest and the most civilized of all the places out there.
Well, I would say the Feywild's an interesting place for a city. Well, that would keep you off the radar. Okay. So how did you get here? Did you just find a rift through the astral plane? Can you just
Um,
teleport?
no. I mean, there are people within the Feywild that can do such a thing. I'm here because I lost. We lost.
Hmm.
After the sovereign died, his children, as per tradition, came together to select the new sovereign. All previous instances, Crown Prince unanimously selected. In a few occasions in the past, there was disagreement. Siblings voted, and the sovereign was selected. At the time of this council, there were only 8 siblings, and there was a deadlock. It broke down, and civil war broke out. My patron led his forces, and he fell in battle.
Hmm.
And when he fell in battle, I was his captain in charge, CNC. Instead of fighting to the death, I offered my men and women's surrender. And
Admirable. Keeps the losses down, yes?
yes, they were given a choice to join or go home to their families. Me, being somewhat of a known entity as a sword captain to not only the patron, but also the lost 7th star, was given a choice of prison or death.
Hmm.
Fortunately, his CNC was an former colleague of mine and came up with a third solution: exile to the Sword Coast. And hopefully one day someone will come back and get me, but it has been 7 years, so I've somewhat accepted that I'm not going back. So, needless to say, to see this is very surprising to me. There's no
Hmm.
known record of anyone in the Empire, let alone the city, being transported here. So I can't help but to think that this was existed before the founding of the Empire.
Well, from what we understand, she kind of gestures over towards the center of Yithrin, this large spire that kind of towers over everything. And most people that lived in a high Netheril city, that is to say, one that we're on now, these things used to fly. Of course, we're all familiar with magic that can make, humans fly or lighter objects fly, but to make an entire city stay aloft and permanently is, well, near permanently, we'll get to that, is quite the feat. Some stories suggest that when High Nerethil fell, Some cities, she gestures again, like Yithrin, fell to Toril. Some, maybe seeing the writing on the wall, or perhaps they were just lucky, instead insisted on planar travel. She kind of glances over in Maisie's direction, and unfortunately she's not here tonight, but looks back. How familiar are you with the Shadok Eye?
Are you asking Maisie?
Generally anyone.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because...
We'll see you next week for the answer.
mainly because she is a Shadok Eye.
Okay.
A particular type of elf, but what makes them special over, let's say, a drow or something?
Aaron will shrug. You got me. What is that?
I mean, would Brett let know?
You would have, I'd say, if you engaged in any planar travel at all, you would have probably run into them.
Well,
These are...
he hasn't, but I don't know whether they would have visited the Empire for any reason.
They're elves, particularly native to the Shadowfell. From what we've been able to glean, supposedly, as the stories go, a particular high Netheril city had gone on a journey. Rather than stay on Toril, they moved to the Shadowfell. And when High Netheril fell and the weave was unraveled at the death of the goddess, at the time Mistral, they were left in the Shadowfell, free from the death of the weave. However, they found themselves a new purpose under the goddess Shar.
Question.
Yes.
Would I have met any? I'm still Nox is still a little boy, by the way. but I'm asking.
Riding Wally, I hope.
I'm asking you, the DM. Would I have met any of these elves while I was in the Shadowfell, or no?
So, if I recall, you were basically on the outskirts of some castle, spirey type city. You weren't allowed inside its limits.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
it does look suspiciously similar to the city in front of you.
Similar. Sorry, repeat that.
It's up to you.
I didn't hear you. I didn't repeat.
It's the place you saw was similar to this one.
Okay. Thank you. That is all. I fixed it on my computer, so I'm gonna hop over there.
All right.
I suppose I have a question.
Yes. Everything we're doing is absolutely mind-blowing. You're drawing connections and parallels that I didn't even think of.
Brett lets one cross his arms and kind of look at everyone. Either there's someone else down here with us, or someone sitting here is named Sarah. When I came down, my name was announced in Elvish, which maybe not all of you speak.
No, that was Loras. Her eyes wrinkle.
Oh, well, my native Elvish, I believe, derived from this. Understood what was being said.
Her eyes are even bigger now and just smiling, like ready for you to finish, but she doesn't want to interrupt you. Just...
When I came down here, I heard 2 additional names, and they aren't names that are used amongst the people here. So either someone else came down here, someone else is not being forthcoming with their name. 2 names.
Hey.
I will admit, my name is my mother called me Sarah. And I will make a deception check on that if I have to. But
Yeah, I'm gonna insight check that.
where's my deception? What did you get?
14.
But
What'd you get?
take it out 11, but take it how you want, but what can I say? It's a stupid name.
What did you say your name was?
Sarah.
Apparently that's Sarah Sia over there.
Interesting.
How about you don't go out calling people out for shit that they don't want people to know about?
Oh shit.
Aaron's going to stand up for a brief moment and walk over to Bretlin and just put a hand on your shoulder and say, I'm not going to ask the two of you to get along, but if you could at least wait until we get out of here alive to handle whatever it is that the two of you have going on, I would appreciate it, and I think everyone else here would too.
I think it's sexual tension.
I don't care what it is. It's a risk that we don't need to add to an already risky situation. So, if you wouldn't mind, I'm not going to say I don't disagree with how you feel, but I am going to say that it's not prudent to our survival, what happened out there. If you could please just, until we get out of here. Then when we get out of here, I'll pay for the ring myself.
Brother will look at you. They'll look at Kara. They'll look at you again. Oh, you're only speaking to me about this.
You're the only reasonable one.
Okay. Well, I see how it is. Well, hopefully, whoever the other person is here and not wandering about said mysterious city.
Well, they both sound like very wonderful names. But again, I think survival is of our top priority, aside from one unpredictable mage friend that is with us. Maybe survival is less of a priority than whatever the hell she's on about. But the rest of us, we're here to do a job, and I'm primarily here to get out of here alive. So, with that, Aaron's going to sit down and pull out the hookah and offer it to Nox if Nox is within earshot.
So this little boy is yes, I think still sitting on your cat. What is the cat's name again?
Amos?
Amos, yeah.
So
It depends on how early in the season you are. It might have been
Amon.
Amon? Oh yeah, that's right. So this little boy who's still sitting on Amos reaches over, grabs the hookah, takes a hit of the hookah, hands it back.
This is probably illegal, but you know what? There's no authorities around.
Me. I'm of age. I'm like 32 or something.
Velen smiles.
Believe it or not.
Well, I appreciate everyone's honesty and cooling down of tensions. I like where this is going. It's more productive, more research focused. Though suppose if we're being honest, hello, my name is Velen Anna Harple. I'm a student of the Arcane Brotherhood, researcher. Age, less important.
We don't have to be honest with each other.
I think not being honest with each other is pretty much the motive operatum of this gathering.
I agree. Let's never be honest with each other.
Aaron will not be able to contain herself with the irony of that statement. Aaron's going to bust out laughing.
Nox is also laughing.
Yeah,
Brentlin
Carl,
is
give
not-
that a chuckle.
Brentlin is not laughing.
Oh, come on. Bretlin, laugh.
Sorry, I can't find the humor
Listen,
with
I'm very funny if you give me the
bruised
chance to.
news.
He kind of smiles and goes, and if there's one other thing, I need you to not be alarmed. I mean no one any harm, and you most certainly outnumber me. And I've also watched this one grow 3 times her size. So, again, I mean you no harm. If I may.
Go on.
She looks over at Kara and changes her form particularly to match your face, your hair,
And then,
down
okay,
to the freckles.
so at this, Nox will also change into Car and be like, "Oh no, changeling, so terrible."
Oh, my God. Interesting. Well, here I thought I had the ace up the sleeve.
Well,
You're
this
wrong.
is just one big nightmare for me.
Actually, you're wrong, or whatever. Scottish accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the Scottish accent, you guys?
Right here, love.
I gotta yell for that. I can't do it quietly.
Get in my belly.
Yeah, exactly. It's all or nothing with the accent.
You're not the
So,
only one who lace up your sleeve.
She
I don't know.
changes once more to a different form. Hey, old player character from Meow, how did Anna look?
Oh my god. Ah.
Jesus Christ. She was a petite, maybe 5'4", 5'5", blonde hair, kind of scraggly, dirty blonde,
Kind of
and
scraggly.
a very like soft demeanor, but like eyes of just like lightning bolts.
I always
Alright.
pictured her with brown hair.
Fun fact, she can
Me
change
too. I always
on a
picture her
whim.
black hair.
Erin's going to draw her weapon as soon as she turns into her mother.
And Nox will also mimic the form of Anna, just because he's just changing into any form that this lady's now changing into.
Joining in on the fun.
Yep.
Erin has 2 crossbows. Erin will point the other one at you if you turn it into her mother.
Whoa, hey.
She kind of
calm
throws
down.
up her hands really quick. It's like, whoa. Hey, like I said.
Actually, this is the reaction I expected.
All right, put down the weapons.
I'm surprised you didn't do this sooner.
I genuinely don't feel like getting involved, but I will if I have to.
Erin will realize that Nox is just goofing, and then point both crossbows at Vel.
Okay. There's a lot of tension going on right now. I can explain the old lady. I'm gonna call it an outfit because it just makes it sound better. The old lady outfit really gets me a helping hand for folks who would like to help someone out.
Wait, so
I
how
can
old are
revert
you?
to that if you. It's not polite.
I told you my age.
Yes, that information seemed to come willingly.
Aaron is going to cock both of her crossbows and say,
all right.
"Drop it."
The
Just
outfit
The form now.
just goes basically gray, featureless. Okay.
Oh, Nox will go into their like original too. This is fun.
Aaron will just very slowly start dropping the crossbows and say, "Is this supposed to be funny?"
Is what? What? This is kind of my life, man.
Yeah, hey, don't be racist.
You chose that form in particular. Why?
It's the one I was born with.
Oh no, just the gray one,
I mean,
Me too.
Well, I was
Aaron,
talking
do you
about
need-
the Anna form in particular.
Aaron-
Oh my Christ!
I mean-
what?
Do you
Breathless on
need to-
clear. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
do you need to go for a walk there, Aaron?
I think Aaron, the player, needs to go for like a smoke break.
Brettler will clear his throat and say, does anyone want to re-examine their let's keep secrets policy? Because, I mean, seems like we should be talking about first things.
She just kind of raises up a hand and is like, listen, I've never met you. I have no personal vendetta against you. I would not choose someone from your life as if I had some sort of dossier. Not that I don't keep dossiers. I just, again, have never met you, so I have no said dossier.
You're organized.
I try to be.
How fun.
Okay.
And you want to go for a walk? Have a chat?
There's nothing I can tell you that would make any sense to you because it makes no sense to me.
Well,
I'll just sit here then.
Mr. Loyalfoot told me he's from the Feywild and perhaps resided in what maybe is a city that escaped from Hind Erethil. Points over towards Kara. This lady's name is Sarah, which I must say is a pretty name. Don't knock it. And well, and your friend over here is a changeling, and here I thought I was special.
Sorry, you're not special.
I mean, today seems like a day for try me.
You know what? We're both special.
I'll take that. We're both special.
Exactly.
In fact, we're all special people. Look around us.
No,
Sure, a dangerous, dirty, dank crypt of an entire city lays in front of us. But who knows? We
yes,
could
how
find-
lovely. So disgustingly beautiful.
We could find
Well-
money, power, knowledge. All three. Skeletons, maybe.
Aaron's gonna go sit in the corner.
Corner of the circular tiny hut.
Aaron will fashion a corner if need be, just to sit in the corner.
You just kind of set your backpack and maybe a shield like just in front and just
Okay.
we're gonna call it pout mode.
Pout mode. Aww.
This is definitely a medium sulk.
Aw. Medium sulk.
Aw.
That's so sad. I'll go cheer you up later.
So you two don't know each other. You're both changelings, but you don't know each other.
Well,
Wow,
I mean,
that is very presumptuous
well,
of you.
yes. To be quite honest, I've never met any of you before.
I've never met another changeling, period. Do you think we all know
Small
each
world.
other? It is a small world.
I mean, somewhere down the family tree, I would think.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Is that how that works?
Oh, my parents weren't changelings.
Really? My
Really?
parents were elves.
Huh.
I didn't
Aaron-
know that you could do that.
Aaron will say from across the room, "What were your parents?"
humans.
Elves?
Well, okay, maybe there was a transient elf, but I didn't recognize him as father.
Well, okay. Well, blood is not. Blood is
Transient elf.
blood, no matter who you consider your father or mother. I
Transient
love.
elf.
Never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
I have no words. Me as a player, I am just fucking baffled right now.
She's like,
So-
well, look.
You actually broke my brain tonight.
Cheers.
So where do you come from exactly?
Oh, I have lived in Waterdeep most of my life.
Waterdeep.
Hmm.
Could you tell more about just everything? Because I've I've never met another me, so I would just like more information.
I didn't
Please.
even know I could until I was maybe 10 or 11. Just
Really,
trying
that
to-
late?
Trying to brush my hair one day, and I changed the hair color when I got mad at it.
Goodness.
Interesting.
You
Then I sort of just learned to copy things that I would see. Feels weird.
does it? Do you not like it?
You get used to breathing with one nose, and then you change shape, and it's ever so slightly off, and then you're breathing all funny.
I feel the opposite. I feel it's very, very liberating to be other people, and then Knox will change into some random person.
Just a dirty old bum on the street.
some random like woman.
Handsome elf.
No, oh my god, yes, actually, yes. Knox will change into the elf from the tavern from the other night
Bretlin
with the
will,
blonde hair and the.
whatever Harridan blush is, Bretlin will blush because he definitely stared at that ass for a while, not realizing it was Knox.
No way. Or Knox could just be using that person's form. You never know. Till you ask.
He won't.
I find it's quite liberating. Feels new.
Andy. So is your name Mia?
She
Huh?
points. Me?
Yeah, you.
No. Velen Harpel. Middle name Anna. That's what my friends call me.
God.
Oh, I just the other name I heard that. Well, I guess whoever that is sitting in here. I guess it's not you.
No, probably not.
Again, if someone's not telling you their name, they probably don't want you to know.
That is very true. Very insightful, Cara.
You've got one person constantly hiding their face. Myself and your companion over there literally hiding their faces.
Yes. Two people hiding their faces, two other people who given fake names. Yes, I feel very, very.
And I had a
Secure.
conversation with your priestess, who said she, and I quote, snorted a slug. So there's that.
There's
We
a lot.
really
there's
should look
a
into
lot going on
that.
here.
Yes.
We never really circled back on that one. Okay.
We've got 8 hours, folks. I'm just saying, a little bit of therapy wouldn't do you, too bad.
I'm perfectly fine. Thank you.
I honestly believe that.
Thank you. I'm very normal.
With that being said, I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay.
Ooh.
Things to keep note. If you see anything, swiftly but quickly, bring your way back here and try not to make much noise.
Yeah. Okay.
Just, looking out for you. We can keep watch from in here. Also, keep that in mind for where you go to take your piss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to be a loud pisser, Kara.
We can see from the inside out, but you can't see from the outside in.
She just gives out all of you the middle finger and just walks off and finds a
Oh, I
private
feel like-
corner.
Nice.
Can't spell class without ass.
She definitely has one.
In more ways than one.
That sounded like, you know what? I'll leave that one alone.
Would you like to share?
Knowledge or just
What you were going to say? I thought it would be funny, but I do have questions for you. On a serious note,
I love questions.
private questions. So whenever that may be,
Oh.
later.
Well, it's hard to be private in a tiny hut.
We can certainly try. I've gotten away with better.
Sorry, guys, my cat threw up on my bed. I had to handle that.
Oh no!
Oh, poor kitty. Well, you know what?
Bella's middle name is Anna. If you missed that.
Ellen Anna Harple.
And Kara went for a piss.
Everything.
Yeah. And also, I think now would be a good time for us all to take a IRL piss.
That's right. We'll be right back. Hey, for those listening on the podcast /YouTube, we're trying something different this week. We're breaking this up into different parts. So this is the end of part 1 of this session. Continue on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, or wherever Carrier Pigeon, bringing you the transcript of today's session for part 2 in a bit. We'll be right back.